All right, we're on here. This is a live stream. I haven't done this in a while, but I just don't I don't know. I don't know why I got out of the paranormal, but I'm back, everybody. I've been on a little bit of a long bit of a hiatus. I've been doing another podcast called the Scratch the Vinyl podcast, and it's been a blast. I just kind of miss talking about ghosts and goblins and talking to psychics and all sorts of stuff. It's just so fascinating. So I'm so glad to be here back in the old squeaky chair. I've got my friends here behind me. I've got Fred the skeleton. I've got Ed the skeleton. And they're just maxing and chillaxing. I mean, we're here to talk about the paranormal. I went to a class recently. It was a paranormal class, and it was very interesting. It was with a colleague, a guy who's been on our show before, named Kirk McManus, and I I went with a friend from Heartland Paranormal. His name's Jason, and I mean it was fascinating. I'll just say that I don't necessarily agree with what the guy has to say on a lot of things, but I will say this, that he uh he definitely opened my eyes to at least there are people out there who aren't afraid to dig into their beliefs. He had a theory that I want to discuss, which is he thinks that he could eradicate hauntings by manipulating the frequencies of these hauntings. So I found that to be pretty fascinating. I thought that it was interesting none the least. I mean, he just I don't know, it kind of blew my mind. I mean, at least he had the goal to come out there and have a take, a plan. I don't know. I mean, so basically the crux of it is this. Everything has a frequency, right? All the things that you see in my room, the colors, everything, everything has a frequency. I have a frequency. I have a I don't know if you guys remember this. I have a pacemaker that runs my heart at 100%. And the interesting thing about that is that it also has a frequency to it, obviously. So what if, and this is a big what if, um, what if you could manipulate a haunting, right? What if ghosts operate at a certain frequency, excuse me, and you could set up some sort of device that would change the frequency so much that you could basically maneuver however you wanted, right? You could move the entity out of the area just by changing the frequency. And then you would also, the caveat here is you would have to make sure that it could adjust. So if other people enter the room, if anything moves or changes, if any of the variables change, this one thing would have to change at all times to be in that certain uh, frequency that could keep ghosts out. So it's definitely an interesting thought. Man, I don't know. I'm not sold on it, but it's at least something, right? Uh, the class was a class of about, maybe 10 or 13 people. I don't know. It was here in Lincoln. It was at Southeast Community College. And I mean, it was cool to go to a class where you can talk about ghosts and talk about the paranormal and not feel like you're going to be chased with pitchforks and all of that. So that was nice. But I don't know. The jury's still out with me on all of that. This is really just kind of a tester live stream for me. We're going to be doing a lot more live streaming on our other podcast, the Scratch and Vinyl podcast. And so I figured, why not? Why not do some live streaming on here and just see how it goes? I enjoy it. I haven't really been on a lot of ghost hunts lately. I got into this point, and a lot of you paranormal investigators out there and people who deal with that stuff all the time will know that when you really sink down into it and you get into it, you love the hunt and the chase and all that at times. But man, it is a daunting task to sit there and listen to hours and hours and hours of white noise and watch these videos. It's very quite literally and figuratively very dark, thinking about a person's demise and thinking about what happens after you die. And so that was tough on me. I get to the point where I just kind of had to get away from it for a while. And so I haven't been on a lot of hunts. Um, I know that I think the last place where I left off with you guys was last year around this time. I had just went on an investigation to Malvern Manor, and at Malvern it was pretty wild to say the least. Like I can tell you this after listening back to the evidence and all that, even today, be careful what you look for when you're looking for the paranormal and you're looking for ghosts. Be ready for it because you just might find it. If you start going to some of these most haunted places, you're gonna find some things that you had no idea. I mean, I laid a recorder upstairs and downstairs, um, by the attic and by the Shadow Man's hallway all night. I mean, all night long until I got back in the morning and did a investigation by myself for a few hours. But it was a long period of time, and the things I heard on that recorder or on those recorders were terrifying. I mean, I heard thumping on the walls, like as if somebody was hitting. I mean, something was knocking, like moving things around. I don't know. It was almost, it sounded to me, if you were to try to recreate it, like somebody thumping their fist against the wall. But the most interesting part was when we were leaving, my wife and I, so we had the kids with us and we investigated with them. It was just us, our kids, a couple of friends, and that was it. And we had the whole place to ourselves. It's a massive place. I suggest that you go if you're looking to see some or hear some true paranormal. Now you can't always get something to happen. I mean, that's not how it works. Everybody, there's not always going to be something happening, but it does stand to say that at that place, I would say that you would have a pretty good shot at it. So, but anyways, so we after taking the kids back, they had been done with it and kind of just over being scared and everything. We took them back to the Airbnb we were staying at, and then my wife and I went back and we investigated into the night together alone. And being in there alone, and having a witness with you, like my wife, who's a skeptic, and it was very interesting. Like she does believe. I mean, we've lived in a haunting, so it's not like she can't believe that something could possibly be going on. It's just more like I don't know. She's one of those people. I am too, to be honest with you. I'm pretty skeptical of certain things because just because someone tells me the place is haunted, I'm not going to believe it until I investigate it and I see it and hear it and have that stuff for myself, right? I mean, anybody should look at it that way. You can't just take somebody's word for it. So, anyways, um, we're trying to go through there together and just kind of figure things out. And we're going room to room. And I mean, we heard conversations. We heard I mean, what sounded like full blown muffled conversation in another room that we couldn't find. We heard voices and we heard pounding around like from downstairs to up or upstairs to down, depending on where we were. And it was wild. I mean, the second that we got there, it was terrifying to the point where we're just doing the tour and we walk up with Josh Hurd, the caretaker of the place, and he goes, "Oh." He's kind of like taken back and we're like, what? And we were going towards the attic and he's like, well, I never left the attic door open and I didn't leave the light on. And it's starting to get dark. So you could kind of see the light poking through, poking out obviously at the end of the hall. And he was shocked when we went there. We heard and we have on recorders, we have. I mean, there's like a female voice out of nowhere. It was wild. I mean, so it's that type of stuff that's just if you are looking for it, you're going to see it. So then later on, weeks later, I do an investigation at a restaurant here in town that I'm not allowed to name. Uh, and it's a legendary older place. It's been around a long time, and here in Lincoln, and I saw with my own eyes, and I never thought I would see this. I saw a figure go across this big archway, and it wasn't like I looked at it from like a peripheral look. I mean, I saw it straight on. I saw it clear as day. And so my first, I went running towards it because I mean, we were there to investigate. And by the time I got down there, there was nothing there, but it was the size of a person. But it was kind of like what they talk about in like the TV shows and the movies. I mean, it's kind of like a grayish, like a white grayish, like smoke type figure, but you could make out like a person. But then as soon as it was there, it disappeared. So my first instinct was, wow, was that like a smoke or something going across there? Like, what was that? Because it looked like a person, but it was like it seemed clear as day to me for a moment, and then it wasn't. And so it was, I mean, that really opened my eyes. And so I got just kind of like, I don't know, it just kind of spooked me for some reason. Then listening back, um, it was kind of a hard night to investigate because there was so much traffic outside of this place and the walls are paper thin. So all the audio stuff I basically discounted as there'd be no way for us to know for sure. But the video stuff was pretty wild. I mean, we at one point we were in a kitchen area in the basement and we caught a shadow figure that that was moving like in these certain areas of this kitchen area, and there's like no explanation. Like we tried to debunk it as after we looked at it and as it was happening, it wasn't us. I don't know what it was. We had some cat balls go off. I don't know if you guys ever use cat balls, but I'll show you what I'm. So this little ghosty here is one of my favorites. I like to put things in little toys and stuff, but if you turn that sucker on, it becomes a disco ball of emotion. So I like these little ghosts because they fit perfectly and they literally won't come out of it. And the key to these cat balls is to make sure that there's no motion to them. Like anything will set them off. I mean, look at this. So when you set them down, it's going to seem like it's stationary, but you got to make darn sure that it is absolutely stationary, or that thing is going to go off like for vibration and different things. So I like to put them in these because it takes a lot to get them going. Like you really gotta, like I would have to pick it up or I would have to really tap on it in order for the thing to go. So I'm not saying a cat ball is a definitive proof of a haunting, but it's definitely strange. We've had it go off in some pretty weird spots. So they at least get your attention and then you start filming and everything from there. So that's kind of we had that going on. We had a lot of different things happening. And so I mean this town of Lincoln is such a fascinating town because it's extremely storied with a history, and with all historic towns, and this being one of them, there's going to be hauntings all with the university. I would love to I'd love to write a book or start my book with Airpark if I could. Like it'd be fascinating to see what people think of this book. I mean, I did an extensive work in Airpark. Right? I mean, I did the Ghosts of Arnold Heights series, the and all of that, and people seemed to love it. Some people hated it out there, but everybody seemed to have a ghost story, and it all kind of started to come together. You couldn't put together an FBI, like one of those maps or whatever where you have all the pinpoints and everything. You couldn't do it there because it would have been all over the place. So there's no like correlation to what it is. So Airpark's really interesting. I would still like to get my book out there. I basically was writing it in the vein of, oh, I don't know. Basically writing it in the vein of like a haunting. I don't know if you guys ever see the show A Haunting, but it was going to be like a dramatized version. So the names, the faces, and all that would change, but the story would be there, right? And so I was just writing kind of a story. I don't know if you've ever read the Ed and Lorraine Warren like haunting books where they talk about their different hauntings and everything, but it's going to be kind of like that. And so I may still do it. I don't know. I'd love to have a publisher, but it's so hard to accomplish that. But with limited funds and everything else. So if anybody wants to help me with that, I would love to do it. I definitely have some friends who want to assist me in different writing and everything. But I'm just so busy. I have songwriting, I producing, I record people. Um, I'm doing all these podcasts and all this producing, and there's just, and I also, I mean, I'm a stay at home dad. I've got heart problems. I've got all these things happening, and so I got to find time to do this stuff. But I'm passionate about this field. Um, I do believe some of my family members and people I've talked to about the religious superstition and really just all of that sort of thing. I I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I mean, I'm a Christian. I fully believe in the Bible. I fully believe in all of that. And I'm not going to preach to you guys here, but it's a very supernatural book, and with that supernatural book comes the responsibility of a person who's reading it to try to discern what they're reading and what it's all about. So I it's not easy. Some things are up for interpretation. You talk to a lot of people. Everyone kind of has their thoughts. I know I have certain family members who I love dearly who tell me absolutely not, no more of that. But I just keep circling back to the idea that maybe that's where I can help people, is to help them with these hauntings and with these different things, or help them to maybe get them some help, or make them feel like they're not crazy because there really is something going on there. So that's really all I got. I see some people watching. I don't know who they are. I can't really see the. So if you're watching, feel free to chat with me and say something to me to let me know who it is. And I don't know. It'd be cool to talk to you guys about ghosts. So I may continue doing this in this form, but this is just kind of a tester for me. I needed to figure out the live stream and everything through Zoom, and this one seems like a complete and total success. So I don't know how strange is it. So thank you guys for watching and listening to me on my ghost TED Talk. And please stick around for more. And please listen to my show with my friends Randy and Brooke on the Scratch the Vinyl podcast. It's a music podcast, but we take the angle where we talk to local musicians and people who don't musicians, people in music who don't get the opportunity to talk to other people about what they do. The radio doesn't give them the time of day. So that is on every Friday at midnight. So check it out. Check out the new episode, and please stick around here. I will be back with more to talk about. So thank you guys for watching and listening, and we will see you on the other side. Peace. I have no idea how to stop this thing now.